Um, Michelle? Oh, got it. Okay. Ta-da! Okay, aloha everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Kimo Carvalho. I have the privilege today of being your MC, filling in for Makana. I can't do her justice, but I'm going to do my best. But welcome everyone to our 26th Kauhale, Ke Kauhale o Luhia, as you guys can see here, in our new brand and our unveiling of this new Kauhale village and community. I first and foremost just want to start by recognizing several individuals who are here today that we just want to acknowledge. First and foremost, well, Gov, you're hosting technically, but welcome. Our representative, Lisa Martin from Waimanalo. The director of our statewide Office of Housing and Homeless Solutions, June Yang. I thought I saw, is Harold here, our administrator of Homeless Programs Office? I know his office is represented here, though. Welcome, guys. Oh, there you go. Yep. And then joining us here today from the Waimanalo Neighborhood Board, Kimiola Kane and Kuike Kamakea Ohela. Welcome. So I want to start with first and foremost with the name. One of the things about the Kauhale initiative that we really value is that neither the state of Hawaii nor Homemade Hawaii has ever actually branded any of the Kauhale. Whenever we come into a community and into a village, we always do community relations and we look to the community to really uplift the essence and the spirit and the culture of the area that we're building in. We become part of that community and we try to work with our neighbors to really capture a name that really truly, embraces the community, a lot of the mo'olelo and the story and the history of this place. And so I really want to thank Kimiona Kane, who's not only the neighborhood board chair here in Waimanalo, but he's also, I believe, a director with 808 Cleanups and really has taken a lot of personal kuleana and responsibility for this community, cleaning up our streams, our valleys, our oceans, and really has found deep cultural connection here to this community. And so this site here that we're in, formerly Weinberg Village, it sits in between two streams here in Waimanalo. So there's the Kahavai stream and the Waimanalo stream. And the two streams here has these little opu, these little fish, and they're endemic to the area. But there is a mo'okane, or basically there's a guardian. Thank you, Gov. There's a guardian. Somebody got a shot of this. So very much like Gov, Mo'okane, who is a protector of the brand, of the community. And Kimiona, I really want to thank you for capturing this name because the Luhia, which is sort of like a little shark that protects, looks over the O'opu, what we're doing here is we're bringing two sides of this community village together, formerly homeless families and now kupuna or single adults who are going to come together. And one of the things I had the privilege of being part of the Kahuiki Village development, and that was originally we cut family homelessness in half here on Oahu. And eventually, what we started to do was introduce the community to kupuna that really kind of became part of the village, and suddenly you saw transformation happen. You saw, families growing stronger, kids with stronger values, and even the kupuna. What separates a homeless person who's on the streets or in shelters from anyone else who's in housing or might be in crisis but may have family, friends that can care for them is they don't have a social safety. And so by bringing, these communities together to look after each other, to really care for each other, to build that essence of community, that's really what the name embraces. And so, Kimio and I really want to thank you for capturing that, a lot of our mo'olelo, and bringing it to life here in Waimanalo. So I talked a little bit about the site, but hopefully you guys are able to tour it, feel it. A lot of the aesthetics, a lot of the feel, so we have single wall construction for our tiny homes, which really matches the old plantation style village of this community. You have jealousy windows, the color palette that really kind of brings the two sides together. Originally, we wanted to kind of shift this to be on a different side, but this community here said, no, we want this to be just adjacent to these homes here because we want to come together. And so we even built this outdoor area here to bring those communities together. So I hope that you guys feel that connection, which is really capturing what our governor has really embraced and really tried to teach us in our values by housing as healthcare and seeing that social determinants of health, improving people's mental health, improving their ability to connect. That is actually breaking cycles of homelessness. It's helping people to thrive quicker. And we're seeing positive results, which hopefully our director, Jun Yang, will be able to talk a lot about with our point in time count. So I'm going to just stop there. I just wanted to kind of ground everyone in just the name, what you're kind of seeing and experiencing here. Today's program, we just have several speakers, and then we'll follow up with a blessing. We are being filmed by Olelo, just for everyone's knowledge. So lots of smiles. Make sure you look good. So Governor, thank you for always reminding us that, community allows us to help people in ways that we just simply can't alone as individuals, and really being the visionary here to bring our builder community, our neighboring communities, and the state government to really embrace this Kauhale initiative and bring people together to execute this project, which we just finished in 3.5 months. Don't tell them that, though. Well, anyway, it's my honor to introduce Governor Green, everyone. Mahalo.
Incredible. Just incredible. Before I dive in, let me mahalo Kimo. To take up this task for the people of Hawaii with home aid, to set aside any ego and to decide we're going to put people first, people who have great need, who we love. That's all that matters to him. That's all that matters to our team. That's all that matters to, dear Representative Martin and all of the gang. That's what matters in Hawaii. And that's what we've seen. And it is hard work. There are a million things that we could always learn from. I will tell you, when Brooke and I started on this journey about 5 years ago, it took us 2 years to build the first Kauhale. And you said, what, 3.5 months for this one? Lightning speed. But we learned as we went, and we welcome that kind of input. We welcome people making us better. But at the end of it, it has to be the heart. And that's why I'm particularly grateful to our neighborhood board leaders who stepped up into this fray. When we first started, we wondered if communities could accept a sometimes challenging moment. We went door to door at different times, and people didn't know what we were about. And we said, we just simply want to put a roof over people's heads. And we want to make sure they're safe and that they're not struggling and they're not going to the emergency department seeing a guy like me in the ER over and over again. That was the goal. Harm reduction. As Kimo said, housing is healthcare. In Hawaii, you live 81 years if you have a home. You have a roof over your head on average. If you're a part of the houseless community and you're on the streets, 51 years. You lose 3 decades of life. That means some mom and dad out there are losing their son or daughter early. Someone's losing their parents early. It's something that we can directly impact when we come together. So really, I want to thank good catch, Kimiona, amazing, Huike, amazing. Thank you for joining us and leading this mission. I want to single out Lisa. Representative Martin took the tack that some people don't. When a lot of reps or senators saw this project, they wondered and they said, I'm not sure we're ready. She said, bring it. Bring it to my community to help people. And we were speaking just a moment ago about what happened otherwise at the beach park. Brooke and I walked that beach park with lots of our friends at the time when there were 30 or 40 individuals really struggling. And I imagined what would happen if a terrible car accident occurred along those tents. Can you imagine the children that would be lost, the suffering that would occur? We knew at that moment that we had to engage with so many, but to have a representative who believes just it's better to help people in the moment, that's a blessing. So thank you, Lisa. Let's give her a round of applause because it's amazing. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Auntie Blanche across the way. She took a risk. It was tough in the early days. Again, nothing's perfect, but we will tell you this. we can't expect things to be perfect as we're trying new solutions. Kauhale is a new solution. We sat 5 years ago with Twinkle guys, and we talked to them about what should we call this movement. She and James said Kauhale. They gave us the word. They said, you need a village. You need a community. Because those who are struggling, perhaps struggling with mental illness, perhaps struggling with addiction, they don't want to be isolated. They don't want to go into a place where maybe you have a fancier door and you lock it, but then you never know the people around you. That is not healing. This is healing. This is a community. And it's been validated. This is the 26th, as we shared. We're on our way to our goal, which is 30 Kauhale by the end of the year. It's unimaginable that we actually were able to get there. And we did it because of Homemade and because of Brooke and because of our team. You know, we beat up our team pretty hard. This is a hard job to get this to go. But look what the results are. This week, we follow the numbers, we follow the analytics. We found out that we have a decrease. We dropped homelessness for those who are unsheltered by 20% on Oahu. 20% drop. To our knowledge, we're the only place in the country that had that level of success. Did you see the headline the other day? Waikiki unsheltered homelessness dropped 91%. 91%. Think of how many people aren't suffering now that have a place like a Kauhale to go to. And then statewide, 13%. These are extraordinary successes because of you in a time where we're seeing slightly less support, social support from the federal government, but not in Hawaii. In Hawaii, we're going forward. This is our mission to care for everyone who needs it. So we've seen these successes, and we're just going to keep doubling it. That's what we're about. So thank you, brother. So as I shared, housing is healthcare. People live longer. The moment someone has a roof over their head, their need to self-medicate drops a lot. Their ability to reconnect socially is immediately enhanced. It is a place, if they have a child, the child can visit them, can be with them, can reunite with them. That's what this is about. It's about so many things more than a tiny home. But that's why we're honored to be a part of it. I'd be remiss if I didn't say it also is about going forward in a way that is sustainable. These tiny homes, they don't cost $500,000 or $700,000 to build. They cost more like $30,000 or $20,000 once you add the infrastructure. The moment someone is here, they're not in the ER over and over again. Average number of times in the ER, 12 times if you're homeless. Average number in the ER, if you have a house, 1.5 times per year. You know how much waste that is when people don't need to be sick, don't need to be going to the emergency department? That brings down costs, that brings down the use of resources so that we can build more Kauhale, so that we can have more monies for our public schools, so that we can do drug treatment, so that we can have psychologists and social workers available when we have a tough year. That's what we're about. And so I will in a moment pause and just say one more time, mahalo. Mahalo for people who believed that we could take an idea, an abstract idea, one Kauhale, when we were serving as lieutenant governor, our team, and here we are with 26. And so really the sky is the limit, and we're not making it up. Here it is, right in front of you. Take your shoes off and go in and see what it's like to have the ability to care for someone who maybe has been struggling, maybe down and out, but now can have their life restored. Thank you for everything.
All right. Well, the person who's leading much of the work in executing Governor Green's vision for Kauhale has been at the forefront of homeless and housing solutions. I've had the privilege of working with Director June Yang now for over a decade. Initially at the City and County of Honolulu, and I really quickly, and I apologize, wanted to acknowledge our City DCSW Director, Edward Los Banos, for being here today. Mahalo, Edward. But June Yang, originally with the City and County of Honolulu, recently with Department of Transportation, and now operating and executing Governor Green's vision as a state's homeless coordinator. So welcome, June.
Aloha, everybody. I work for Governor Green. My office is a statewide office on homelessness and housing solutions. And first, I want to say thank you, Governor Green, for your leadership in helping us with our vision to move this project and these projects forward. Without your leadership, we wouldn't be here. I want to say thank you for everybody being here at this blessing for Kauhale o Luhia. This is a crucial shelter and a service program created to support 20 within our community here experiencing homelessness in Waimanalo. Special thank you to Chair Martin. Thank you very much for helping to lead within our legislature on this issue. Without your leadership, I know we wouldn't have the funding to be able to do this. Earlier this year, Governor Green reaffirmed the state's commitment to reducing homelessness by increasing housing and the collaborative government participation and funding with the support of our legislatures. It truly demonstrates the veracity of a comprehensive approach to solving homelessness in our state. We wholeheartedly believe that housing is healthcare, and we're excited to see this program in our collective response in helping our unsheltered neighbors. Today is proof what coordination, well, that's what my job is, I'm the coordinator, the proof of what coordination can produce. Kauhale's break the cycle by offering stable and dignified community-based housing with support, building upon innovative solutions that we've seen success from in communities and organizations across the state. Kauhale o Luhia was brought to life through state funding. Our budget was $2 million, and we've only used 1.6. There is savings already here at this site. And through our public-private partnership and emergency proclamation discounts, we project about $650,000 in total savings. We have some savings here. We'll be able to use some of that to improve the rest of the facilities around this site. So not just here, but also the entire site. We're excited about that, and you're the first ones to know. Now, every village we open moves us closer to making homelessness rare, brief, and non-reoccurring. In the 2026 count, it showed a 20% decrease, and we haven't seen these type of numbers reducing in a long time, if ever. So this is telling us that we're on the right track. We're starting to make the right movements and make the right decisions. And with leadership in the community, leadership in the right places, we'll get there. And I'm really excited to see that. Safe private housing paired with on-site community services. These pillars work together in what moves people not just off the streets, but into stability. The goal is not just housing, it's long-term health, self-sufficiency, economic contribution, and belonging. As the Kauhale Initiative and other housing solutions expand, we're glad to increase housing, especially in areas like Waimanalo. This Kauhale is just one of several efforts intended to support these areas where challenges for those experiencing homelessness can be even more acute than in our more urban areas. Mahalo again, Governor Green, for your leadership, Representative Martin, for your support, Homemade Hawaii, ASI as our operator, and the community of Waimanalo. I look forward to hearing about the transformation, the transformative impact this Kauhale will have in the lives of those that we are able to serve here. Mahalo and aloha.
Alrighty. Thank you, June. Earlier this year, probably right when ledge session was just about started, we got a phone call from Representative Lisa Martin, and we came here and toured the facility, and she shared her vision and shared a lot of her experience of how she had been connected with the community, some of the thoughts and conversations around the potential for this being a Kauhale, and listening directly to her and her vision also for this site and what this could do for the impact of this community. You could just tell her heart was in it. It was near and dear to her, and this was something that we needed to execute and really help her with. Very grateful for your leadership in the ledge session. I know this was a interesting year for all of us. However, at the end of the day, what matters most, as Gov said, was we got the work done, and here we are today. And so for that, I really want to thank Representative Martin for introducing us to the community, for being part of those community dialogues, for getting to know these neighbors here. There's a lot of special people that just in a very short time became near and dear to my heart, and just listening to their stories, including our homeless kapuna on the beach during the point in time count. So I just really want to thank Representative Martin for being here, for helping us with this vision, and for helping us to get to this moment today. Representative Martin, thank you.
Back up. Aloha mai kako. So, as people have said, my name is Lisa Martin, and I represent Waimanalo and part of Kailua. And it is a wonderful district to represent. It is possibly the most diverse district in our state in terms of diversity of socioeconomics. We have our beachfront, we have homestead, we have agriculture, we have very suburban neighborhoods. But I have to say that consistently with every group, every neighborhood in my district, their number one priority and concern is homelessness. Sometimes it's out of empathy. We'd like to think that's the case. Sometimes it's more out of distaste. But either way, that is their priority, which has made it really easy for me to focus on this issue because in the end, my job is to do what people want me to do. And when I first started 6 years ago, this was still Weinberg Village, and it was still longer-term housing, affordable housing for families. Since that time, it has become Waimanalo Emergency Shelter. Auntie Blanche's started up. So we went from no places in the community on this side of the island to now 2 places for people to go. And just like the data from the point in time counts show that there has been a decrease, we see it, I see it in this community. We have definitely had a decrease in homeless. Because of these 2 facilities, after decades, the population that was living at Waimanalo Beach Park, which was not super popular with the neighbors, there were a lot of negative impacts on the neighborhood from that encampment. It had decreased to such a small size that DOT was finally able to shut it down. And, so anyways, we see the benefit. And this particular space, I have to say, I was looking at the parking lot for 6 years. First, I talked to DHS, can't we expand? And they said, no, we don't even have enough funding to cover maintenance for our existing structures. Why would we expand? Then John Muzino became the coordinator on homelessness, and I knew him, so I went to him. I said, can we expand? Can you pay for it? And he said, yes, let's do it. And there was conversations, and there was movement forward, but we didn't get the job done. And then when June started, I went to him, and they came out, and they came in, and ASI, bless them, has always been supportive. They've always said, sure, we can take on more. We'll have to hire more staff, but we can do more. And they are doing an amazing job. June's team, within half an hour, was looking at the blueprints. Had really gotten down to that level of detail, figuring out how to make it work. And that's when I was feeling very hopeful that this would happen. And sure enough, here we are. So I can tell you that I have walked, I have done a lot of meeting on the homeless. I've gone with healthcare providers to visit the homeless. And I know that a lot of the homeless in my district, they will not go to Sand Island. They will not go to a Honuan town. They would rather live on the beach, on the street, in the park, by a river, here, by their home, than they would go somewhere else. So having local options and now having more space in one of our excellent local options is the difference between people being willing to get off the street and not. I know there are people that literally, there's no wait list here for the existing structures. They call every day, waiting to see if there's somewhere open, because here they can have a key. They can have privacy. They can have their belongings secure. They can feel safe from others. And that's what's on their mind. I know once they get here, they get a lot more than that. They get connected with all kinds of community services. We have a lot of people here that provide services to all the homeless in the community, and this is one of their places that they come. So anyways, I'm just so grateful that this is happening, and and it looks so much better than the drawings that I made and sent to each person one after another. And I really appreciate the work that is now going to fall on ASI to take on more people and care for more people. And I appreciate the governor for creating the funding, resource, etc. for this whole program. So anyways, mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. Mahalo to our neighborhood board members and our community leaders that have accepted, this kind of expansion and supported it. So that's it. Just mahalo.
Thank you, Representative. Just to quickly take a pause. Homemade Hawaii, for those of you who don't know, we are Governor's lead developer for Kauhale Developments. We are a nonprofit developer. For those who are unfamiliar, we are the conduit between the public-private partnership that's being mentioned today. And so I'm very grateful to the 29 builders who were able, as I'm listening to Representative and Director Yang and Governor, I have to acknowledge and really appreciate the work of the builders. So there's 29 builders who really came together, and as Director Yang mentioned, has saved us somewhere in the ballpark of around $650,000. And so really to augment that, that public-private partnership with not just the cash from the state, but also the philanthropic arm of our building industry. It's a real privilege to be a leader, to really kind of do that connection. I want to thank my team for helping to be that conduit, and of course to the builders here who's represented, and grateful for you guys being here and joining us today. Mahalo. One of the things I love about my job is working with the operators, and as part of this process, it's not just working with the community and of course the state, but also co-designing with the operators the look, the feel, the flow of the site, the operations, and really trying to absorb that, embrace it, and really try to produce a community and a village in a very quick amount of time that makes their lives easy. Destiny here, who's the site manager and who will be our lead po'o for this entire community, currently they have 31 homes or units here in what we currently know as Weinberg Emergency Shelter, but now Kauhale o Luhia, and was really the advocate who said, Kima, we need to bring these two sections together. This is going to be one community, and really embrace that and Governor's Kauhale vision. And so by expanding from 31 homes to now 51 homes, we're hopeful that there's going to be, I guess today there's 41 households, so we'll have somewhere around 60 or so, give and take, depending on the ohana size, right? And, just even being able to talk before this and really kind of listening to her and just sort of the experience and how they're adaptable, how they really tailor their solutions to the household, how they actually do bring people together, because they also believe in their hearts that community does a lot of healing as well. She embraces just a lot of what the Kauhale vision embodies, and so for that I want to introduce and welcome our po'o and our site manager, Destiny. Mahalo.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming today and being with us. Special day for us. Expand, help more people in our community. So Alternative Structures, also known as ASI, also known as Kahumana, was founded in 1974 with a vision that has never wavered to co-create a healthy, inclusive, and thriving community alongside people experiencing homelessness. More than 50 years later, across Oahu, we serve over 1,100 individuals experiencing homelessness each year, and we do it by bringing housing, services, and vocational training together in one integrated, intentional place. At Kauhale o Luhia, every participant will have access to case management, health and wellness support, and workforce development, not as extras, but as a foundation. These are the tools rooted in decades of practice that help people move from a movement of crisis towards lasting capability and dignity. As operators of this Kauhale, we hold deep respect for what community first villages are meant to be, spaces of healing, belonging, and possibility. Through our shared facilities, programming, and thoughtful connection of spaces, ASI is committing to making Governor Green's vision that housing is healthcare real and felt in the lives of the people we serve. I want to mahalo to all our partners. Patty and Roger from Serving God, Serving People, and Hope Center Ministry of Kailua, for their continued support in helping prepare shelter spaces and for showing up again and again for our community. A special mahalo to HPO and Waimanalo Board, Kimiona. A special mahalo to Home Aid Hawaii, whose skill in development is matched only by the genuine heart they bring to this work. A mahalo to Governor Green and the state for the vision and sustained commitment behind the Kauhale initiative. We are ready and we do not take that privilege lightly. Thank you, everyone. And thank you to Lisa Martin.
So one last speaker, and this one I'm very excited about because I've not had the privilege of sharing the podium with her before. But 7 years ago, if you can believe it, Governor and Brooke, 7 years ago, Homemade Hawaii was privileged to be part of, at the time, Lieutenant Governor Green's first Kauhale and Kamaoku in Kalailoa. And at the time when we launched the Kauhale initiative, we had a special partner that just kind of joined us and became part of the movement. And she continues to do this magical work and has actually even stepped up in even a bigger way. And I'm going to give her the floor to announce today the Kauhale collection. Jaylene Hanani, I'm not sure where you're at, but if you... Oh, here you are. Hi, come on. Wow, you're like blended right in. Jaylene, coming up here and share about our No Home collection and the Kauhale collection, and mahalo for just being part of this initiative and showing us that you don't need to be a builder, you don't need to be a community volunteer, you can even be any business, local business, and still have a role and be part of the solution of the Kauhale initiative. So I want to thank you for demonstrating that leadership and being part of this ohana and this movement. Mahalo.
Introduction. Aloha mai kako. I am Jaylene Hanani, the founder of Noho Home. I'm always the artist. I always say founder, but I am also the artist. And I want to say a big mahalo to Kimo and Homemade for inviting me here today. And I also want to mahalo Governor Green and the Kauhale Initiative for serving probably some of the most vulnerable in our community, in this community, which has so much diversity, but also so many kanaka. The saying kind of goes that something to the effect of nobody cares what you know unless they know how much you care. And so I'm going to change that around and say nobody really cares what you do until they know why. So I'm going to just share a little bit about that. This is very much a full circle moment for me because my initial, and as so many things happen in Hawaii, the initial connection with Homemade and Kauhale was in 2019 with a kahea to the community out in Kalailoa and Kapolei, where I now reside and have resided for 30 years. And so I thought, okay, well, this is an opportunity, and we're going to go to the work day. I'm going to call up a friend who's a home stager, and we're going to see how we can help. And that kind of snowballed into a greater initiative for that project. And I've just been, kind of on speed dial ever since, and just helping where I can. But what most people don't know is I actually consider myself from Waimanalo. I grew up here. I cut my teeth here. I graduated from Kailua High School. And my single mother, I'm going to get emotional. My single mother and I and my 16-year-old younger sister at the time built our home with our own hands. Hammers, nails, all the things with 30 other families in Waimanalo Village. And thank you. So I don't know, I think my mom back then was like almost 60. So at that age, she became a homeowner. So, and we had the opportunity to start healing in a place that was ours. And so this is very special to me to actually announce the collection here in Waimanalo. I would drive, every time I drive by, I've been so impressed by just how beautiful Weinberg Village has stayed over the years. It has been so well kept. I have great pride in the community for doing that. So we at NoHo Home started 2 years ago a initiative called the Legacy of Aloha, and we launched it at Made in Hawaii. And it really was to illuminate some of our artists and musicians that were getting older. My mother is one of them. Auntie Melvin Lee was another. And give them an opportunity to share their art and their vision and their stories in a different context. And also to have an economic driver behind it. And then I realized that legacies of Aloha don't stop there. They also start and stop also with organizations. And so Kauhale is definitely going to create legacies of Aloha, not only for the organization itself, but for all the people who come through its doors and are blessed by it and then bless others. The collection is really an extension of the love and aloha. It's grounded in design with the kalo motif and the value of hanai, which is to care and to nourish. And that truly is what happens. Here is people are fed and nourished where they are, whoever they are, wherever they've been, wherever they've come from. And also in Ohekopala. So I've taken the Kauhale logo and I've reimagined it into a Ohekopala motif, and that's what you will see as you take a look at the collection. And a portion of proceeds will be donated to the organization. And we're a small company. We have a micro factory that employs people that out in Waipio, where we make many of our products. And while this might just be a small initiative, it really is to start conversations and in homes, right? So our customers are ultimately supporters as well as our company of this mission, and they will have a beautiful piece that they will remember. They'll remember the story, and we'll tell it to others, and hopefully begin more of a movement, draw attention and awareness. Beyond that, we have a significant hope for the aloha and the aloha of the entrepreneurial and business community here in Hawaii, that this may be the first of many collaborations to create further public-private partnerships that would be able to support and sustain the Kauhale initiative. With that, I would like to mahalo all of you for being here today, all of your different parts of the process that you've contributed to. So mahalo and aloha.
Thank you, Jaylene. Quick story. She's right. So, being part of the launch, I got to benefit directly from the product. This last weekend, I live in Mililani. Our power went out. I'm the cool neighborhood uncle. I'm very proud of that title. And so our power went out, and I have the table runner on my table, and so bringing my neighbors and the kids over, had all these candles, and so they asked what that was, and I got to talk about the Kauhale initiative. And what was really cool about that moment was it was kind of a moment that I realized, well, it's what we're doing now. It's coming together, it's connecting, and Governor, I'm very excited that we get to sustain your vision and this brand, even in the homes, our own homes. And Jaylene, thank you so much for helping to support the ongoing mo'olelo of this initiative. Mahalo. With that said, I want to quickly. So if anybody wants to take out their phones, go on Instagram, Homemade Hawaii or NoHo Homes, follow us. There will be a free giveaway this Friday as part of this launch. So be sure you're Instagramming us, both of us, by the way. We're gonna check. And then also kauhalecollection.com. The site is live. Please visit the site. You can place orders. As Jaylene mentioned, percentage of the proceeds funds the Kauhale initiative. So the cash raised goes directly into these projects. There's no fees or anything. It's just passed through Homemade directly to more Kauhale villages like this one. Oftentimes, we appreciate what the state can do, but what the state cannot do, it's the community that funds those special touches that you see here. So the planter boxes, the tea leaves, and the plants, some of the fine touches, even sometimes the gatherings, like the food and the paheyas. So I really appreciate the community support in supporting the Kauhale initiative and NoHo Homes and sustaining this brand. All right, well, Kahu, thank you, by the way. So Kahu Wendell Davis is from Kaneohe Congregational Church. Also from Waimanalo, is a kupuna leader in this community as well. We have the privilege of turning this over to you for our blessing, so I'll hand it over to you, Kahu. Mahalo.
Aloha mai kako, but aloha. When I grew up on the Big Island, like Governor, we had our Papa and Mama were our grandparents. Papa always gave us wisdom. One of the things I always remember him saying, remember when you grow up, you don't need much. Use what you have. All you need to be blessed is that you have a roof over your head, food on the table, a place to sleep, and love in the house. I've always remembered that. Generations later, I want to add to his wisdom. You can have a roof over your head, food on the table, a place to sleep, love in a house. But today I want to add, love also builds the house. So I want to give them a big hand. Can you give a big hand for all those who have built this and all the other units? I am also very pleased that when I came, I saw the tea leaf lay. Sometimes Kahu's come in this maili lay. Maili lay is one of, you have the strands that tie together, which I always love to use as a illustration for unity. All different parts coming together. But I love the tea leaf lay. Because tea leaf is the plant that was used for healing. It's about healing today. Someone in these 20 units will be healed and working through the progress of healing. And the more we build, the more we start to expand housing in Hawaii, more healing comes to our people. So I'm very, very blessed. We have the lay across in the middle. This is just the gateway. Hawaiians didn't have doors, didn't have windows. And so the gateway in the old culture is to bring the lays together. And so what we're going to see is that I'm going to bless the lay. I'm going to bless the lay with my bowl and my tea leaf and my pa'akai. The salt is to consecrate, to bless, to refresh, to cleanse the land, the aina, cleanse also the hale. And then as the dignitaries I've asked to be a participant, come and open up the lake. The ohane, or the spirit of Keakua blesses this place. And like we drop a pebble in a pond, the ripples isn't just here. It's all through this new unit, all through the Weinberg houses, and all of Waimanalo. Because we are all together as family. So this time I'm going to bless the lake, and I'm going to call up on a governor and also the dignitaries. By the way, we love Lisa, okay?
You guys, we're gonna just do one more quick gathering. Kahu is gonna lead us in. Everybody just wants to stand. Go ahead and. Okay, aloha, aloha. Okay, aloha, aloha. Okay, aloha, aloha. Mahalo, everyone. By the way, please feel free to tour. We have 2 homes that are staged with our NoHo home collection. We also have some food, bentos. Please don't leave without one. We have way too many. And also, please feel free to take a tour. We have our shared common spaces, kitchen. The bathrooms are open. By all means, make yourselves at home. Mahalo, everyone, for being here today. Aloha. Did you see this, by the way?
I have it on my desk. He walks in.
Okay.
Boom, boom, boom.
I was just at there in the office. I was in front of it.
So